of it all, what is your assessment of how IEBC performed?
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Trevor and team. IEBC did a sterling job in terms of the processing up to the point of the tallying the results, and probably even partly at the National Tallying Center, despite the challenges that they had. And in my view, looking at the degree of preparedness, right from the joint multi-sectoral and multi-stakeholder engagement processes, all the way into ensuring that there is effective and proper voter education, to the levels of even opening up the various aspects based on our experiences. And you realize that in 2017, particularly the Supreme Court petition, aspects of the server and quests and of course the push for people to be engaged in the kind of voting, tallying, and the end results of what was contained in the server. I think looking at the degree and the manner in which the IEBC opened up this process and even enabled party agents, observers, right from the ward level all the way to the constituency, to the county, and even at the National Tallying Center. And we had the, of course, the commissioner saying the papers are there, the results are with you there. So in my view, an assessment of IEBC on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give them probably a 7 out of 10, 70%. Yes, of course, now they have serious challenges based on their own internal mechanisms, administrative issues, and how they plan to move forward in terms of looking at the degree of conflicts which are there. But I believe that now that Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance has made some bit of processing of Supreme Court petition, we hope that part of that process will help us understand exactly what the IEBC commissioners and even that particular team are going through.
All right. Dr. Juang, your assessment of IEBC's performance this far?
So far, you know, being a teacher and a social science, I never give 100% because that to any answer, because it is saying you can never improve. But I think they have done much better. They have met or exceeded most of our expectations. I see the international observers generally who came to help the process, to understand, to check the integrity, left saying we have benchmarked with Kenya. It can never be perfect, does not need to be perfect. I'm more interested in to what extent did they try implement the 2017 Supreme Court ruling in terms of no, Chebukati, you have come here telling us you have corrected 34A with 34B. Impossible. Election is 34A. This is the DNA of any election. The rest, we can argue about calculation, tabulation, let us catch heart attack. But we must get the 34A right. He did. Access the portal. Remember the call even to the media to access the portal. Get your tallying on. So is the election verifiable, accountable, simple? I spent the 4 days in Bomas. I thought it was a very boring process because really when you are the floor, all the agents were there, each one with the blue light, first checking each 34A for the 9 security features before we even tally or anything. So you'll just see the lights running through, checking those major things. Then once it is found this is the original from 34A, then we get to the tally. And you know that they kept reiterating that we cannot change, we cannot the mistake, but we cannot alter the 34As. And I'm glad the very few, if there's any, minimal problems with the 34As. So overall, I can say that IEBC at least have put a dent to the idea of not having integrity They have crossed that path. They have run a better, superior election. Is it perfect? No. Does it need to be perfect? Probably not. Thank you.
So out of 10, what is your score?
Out of 10, I will give them 8.
8.
Yeah,
Okay.
But then,
that's a lot.
yeah, that's but then comes the quagmire, Ken.
Yeah.
Commissioners on one side, 4 of them, led by Juliana Cherera, Justice Abonyo, Irene Masit, Francis Wanderi. They say, at the end of it all, there was an opaqueness in terms of the tally. And then Chebukati gives a rejoinder that they wanted to force a rerun. So what do you make of that stalemate between the commissioners, and what is the impact of that stalemate on the integrity of the election?
That stalemate actually dents the integrity of the commission. And to the extent that this is happening on the final, almost the final day, because either way, IEBC still had a few hours to meet the constitutional threshold of 7 days. And to the degree that at the tail end of it, when we're expecting that they are going to all stand there and be able to give us a unanimous decision, because, Trevor, that is really the expectation of the Constitution and also the other laws that support the Constitution. So you look at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commissions Act, what does it say about decision making? You look at the Elections Act, what does it say about the chair of the commission alongside being the national returning officer of the commission? All these things indicate that the commission is supposed to be working as a team. The commission is supposed to be enhancing collective social responsibility. The commission is supposed to be underscoring what we call, what I would probably call corporate responsibility, so that one commission's decision, actually, if you met one commissioner in Taita Taveta over the same decision that they want to make, and you also meet another commissioner in Lamu, the expectation is that each of them and both of them should be able to speak the same thing on that particular concern. And to the extent that they differ, then the laws that we are referring to indicate that you undertake a vote, and that is partly why there are 7 of them, so that there is no point, there is no particular point in time when there will be a tie, you know. So if there is a tie, then one of them has the opportunity to provide a majority vote, so that it is 4 out of 3. Now, Trevor, on this issue, 4 of them are not with the commission chair, which presents the question around what is the role of the IEBC commissioners at the National Tallying Center, to the extent of, say, a subject matter like the chairman being a returning officer, the national returning officer. So what would be all these other commissioners be doing as they wait for the chair to be able to make this announcement? It is good that these conflicts are happening, and so that we are able to open up the IEBC. I remember that these 4 commissioners are more or less the new ones that came up after the other 4 resigned or left their responsibilities at the commission. And so then begs the question, what is the space of teamwork within the commission? Would there be possibilities that the 3 who had been there earlier on continued with a degree of either impunity or status quo, or the desire to lock all these other new people outside, the same way it would happen in a high school or in a campus? If you are a fresher, you are a fresher. And you will have to work so hard to be able to meet up to the level of the other oldies or the other old boys or other old girls. So how then they undertake issues around teamwork? Whether there have been attempts to do capacity building and also team building, whether they have been able to get technical assistance and support. I know, for instance, from civil society perspective, that there has been lots of investments, Trevor, from various friends of Kenya and the donor community to work with IEBC to offer technical assistance, organize so many retreats so that they can be able to speak together from one particular perspective. And if there is a difference, then they actually do what is required by Constitution and their laws, which is to undertake a vote. So these diversions, in my view, present a very serious dent to their integrity, which takes us to the second issue about the validity of the results that, one, were being read from the constituencies, because most of them actually read part of those results from the constituencies. And then number 2, is the verifiability of the presidential tally, because that's probably where most of them have actually had